Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So before I get into this video, I do just want to take some time to say thank you to all of you who watched my last video and left feedback, and it was so nice reading all of your comments and your love. I know it's really hard to watch somebody else get the things that you want, especially when you're going through infertility and that's all you want is to just get pregnant and have a baby. So I can't thank you guys enough, especially sharing something that's very vulnerable like a birth story, you know, and talking about my body and like the things that I've been through to get here. So it makes it a lot easier to share that stuff when you guys are so sweet and supportive and just super loving towards me and my family. Today I am going to be sharing my postpartum recovery video. I know that it's been asked a lot and you guys are really wondering how I'm doing. I know in my last video I had not really talked much about how I'm feeling, kind of more about my birth story and Brixlee, but today I'm just going to be kind of talking all about me and my body. It's probably going to be a little TMI, so if you're like not into the whole female reproductive system or you know, all that gross stuff, then I definitely wouldn't watch this video because I'm going to be talking about blood and some squeamish things, so just a fair warning. So as of right now, I am 4 weeks postpartum. I'm feeling really good right now, but it's taken me a little bit to feel better down there, especially after I had Brixlee. It was a little bit of a harder recovery, I think. With Brie, I don't remember feeling so much pain down there, but I know that after your second or your third, things get harder. But the one thing that I really do remember after I gave birth and when I got home was the postpartum contractions, when your uterus contracts back to its normal size. And they say that it's worse with breastfeeding because when you're breastfeeding, your body is contracting as you're breastfeeding. So my uterus was contracting every time that she would latch, and it was very painful to say the least. I think that only lasts for maybe 2 weeks, so it's not something I deal with anymore. I'm so glad that it's done, but I definitely did experience that. And with Brie, I didn't experience that, but I don't know if it's because I didn't breastfeed her or what, but I definitely felt it this time with my second baby. Part of my postpartum recovery is my breastfeeding journey, and I'm not going to get too much into my breastfeeding journey because it's a whole story on its own. But let's just say when I gave birth to Brixlee, we immediately latched her in the hospital. I think it was the first 10 minutes that she was born, we just put her right to the breast, and she did great. She latched great and everything, and I had colostrum. So that was all good. It was a little painful. You alright, babe? It was painful at first. I would say probably the first 2 weeks were pretty brutal. I would almost cringe every time she was hungry and wanted to nurse because it literally feels like she's taking your soul out of you. And I remember my toes would curl when she would latch, and it was just so painful. And she was latching fine. It wasn't her latch that was wrong. It was just obviously your boobs are not used to having someone sucking on them, and they were dry and cracked. They didn't bleed though. I will say my nipples never bled, so that's a good thing. But we are now a month into her life and to my postpartum breastfeeding journey, and we're still breastfeeding strong, so I'm proud to say that. Also in this recovery, I've had a UTI and a yeast infection literally together on top of each other, and it was so painful. I remember calling my doctor, telling her I think I have a UTI and I think I have a yeast infection, and she said that it's probably just the healing process, but honestly it wasn't. I know what those feel like, and sometimes I just feel the doctors don't believe you, you know what I mean? But I definitely knew what those symptoms were, and I was very uncomfortable. So she did prescribe me a medicine, and it took care of it within a couple of days, so that was all good. But just imagine having a baby and, you know, healing and all of that, and then you have a UTI and a yeast infection all on top of each other. So it was very painful. I couldn't wipe, or peeing hurt. It was just a mess. I was in so much pain for a whole week with those infections. And also I was scared because it's a yeast infection, and I'm new to breastfeeding and everything, so I'm oh great, my kid's gonna get thrush. But I guess they're different I don't know, different infections. So as far as like my healing down there and everything, I didn't have to have stitches with Brixlee, thank God. I blame the evening primrose oil that I took during the end of my pregnancy to try to get her out. They say that it like helps so that you don't like tear and everything, and it definitely helped because with Brielle I got like 3 stitches. So this time it was nice to hear that I didn't tear at all. So I'm definitely blaming that oil capsule thing or whatever. Definitely think that that helped me. The bleeding after my labor and delivery was normal. Like I think everybody kind of goes through. It's a lot. It's messy, and I probably wore a diaper for like 2 weeks, a good 2 weeks after I had her, and then I slowly progressed to like one of those big pads. But the bleeding is definitely better now. I am like spotting here and there, but it's just very faint and, you know, not a big deal. I wear like a light pad and everything is good. I did lose like most of all of my baby weight like the first week that I had Brixlee, and now my stomach is just kind of like gooey and loose, and I still have that line. I don't even want to try to pronounce the line's name, but I still do like have that line that you get on your belly when you're pregnant towards the end. That hasn't gone away yet, so I'm sure it'll fade pretty soon. But I have that. I have a couple of those stretch marks that I said, and what else? Oh, and I still have a couple more pounds to lose, but it's not a big deal. I mean, I'm only 4 weeks postpartum. I still have like, I don't know what, like 2 weeks until 6 weeks, and that's when I see my doctor. So we will see. But I will show you a picture or a clip of my stomach so you guys can see kind of how everything's going back to the way it is. But I will say that the women's body is amazing. I mean, we go from carrying a baby to 9 months, our stomach's stretching, our bodies are changing, our hormones are crazy, and then we give birth to like the most beautiful babies ever, and our bodies just go like back to being amazing. Like our bodies can pop right back to what they were, and it's crazy how amazing us women are. And the last thing I want to talk about before I let you guys go is just how like I'm doing emotionally and mentally. I went from just 1 kid, as you guys know, to 3 kids in basically a week. My stepdaughter is here with us for the summer, and then we had Brixlee, and you guys know I have Brielle. So I went from 1 kid to 3 kids like super fast, and you know, it's full time, it's all day, it's every day, all night. And honestly, I'm exhausted, and I'm not gonna sit here and say everything's perfect and dandy because it's not. As you guys can imagine, it's tiring. I'm exhausted. I'm learning how to be a mom of 3, and not just 3, but they're all in different ages. So they're all pulling me in different directions and needing me in different ways. And it's hard, you know, like I am breastfeeding, I am pumping, I am being a mom to 3 kids. I'm trying to keep them all alive and happy, and homeschooling and just all of that, and like being a wife and cleaning our house. It's so much work. And honestly, I go back to work in a month and I'm so sick to my stomach thinking about going back to work. It just honestly makes me cringe. I love what I do and I love my job, but I feel like I'm like right now my plate is so full. I don't know how I'm gonna add even more to it. But all is good though. I'm going to get through it, and I will figure out a routine that works good, and you know, times aren't always going to be hard. It's just right now it's just a lot to get used to. I'm still waking up every 2 hours with Brixlee to feed her and change her, and you know, like by the time you fall asleep after the feeding, it feels like the next feeding is right behind it. Like by the time you fall asleep, it's time to feed again. So it's tiring, and I am exhausted, and that's partly why I don't ever have makeup on, and I'm not gonna put makeup on just to film a video. So from here on out, guys, just love my natural skin because that's all that I have time to do. But as far as like postpartum depression, I don't have any depression. I love my daughter. I'm so happy. I don't cry because like I am just upset because I have a newborn or upset because I have 3 kids. I'm more just tired, and just learning how to juggle it all is a lot. And you know, I'm just taking one day at a time. When things get hard and hectic, I just go outside and I just remind myself how lucky I am. And yes, the house is a mess, but the kids are only little for so long. I'm just so blessed to have Brixlee here with us, and she completes our family. I know that I've said that maybe we'll have more kids in the future, and you know, I can't tell the future, but as far as right now, I feel super content. I don't feel the need to have another baby. I feel so happy, like she just completed us. All right guys, are you ready to see my postpartum body? Here we go. All right, so I'm not sucking in or anything. This is my postpartum body. This is what I am left with at 4 weeks postpartum. Like I said, I have a little bit of stretch marks from like around my belly button, and I still have that line, you guys. Like, I don't know when it's gonna go away. It'll probably go away soon. And I'm a little bloated still. Like, I can tell, like right here, I'm still bloated, because even when I suck in, like you can still see like bloat. But yeah, that's how my body is at 4 weeks postpartum. I know you guys are probably dying to see Brixlee real quick before I end this video, so I'm just gonna show you guys her sleeping right now, and then I will see you in my next video. All right guys, let's take a look at baby Brixlee. All right, so she's sleeping in her docket tot, my little junker. You guys see how cute she is? Look at that precious little face. She's such a good girl. She's my little sleepy baby. She's 1 month old, you guys. I cannot believe how fast time has gone. I hope you guys enjoyed this postpartum update, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.